Hi everyone, this is Amani from Intuit Hue, and today I'm here with your Astroscopes for the month of June. In particular, we'll be looking at the first 2 weeks of the month, so as usual, going through the opportunities, the challenges, the insights, all of these types of things that are coming up for you in the first 2 weeks of this month. So again, this video is for June and the beginning of the month. And in this video, we will be including all of the astrological signs, so there will be a portion for each, and as usual, just go ahead and look at the ones that are resonating for you. If you identify with Pisces, even if it's not in your sign, or if Leo is in your chart but you also want to look at Sagittarius, please feel free to do that. This video is for you to benefit from, and it's my practice does not include working from the birth chart. It's more about what energies you're resonating with and that are showing up in your life. So whatever you feel called to look at, go ahead and look at that section whenever it's time for that part of the reading. You can just go ahead and look at the signs that resonate for you. And since this space is really provided to support you in your spiritual and personal wellness, please do engage further with this reading and comment below with any thoughts that you might have, ask any questions that are coming up further. Please do share with someone if you know of someone who would benefit from this video, or maybe someone who's already interested in astrology, or someone who doesn't quite understand why it would be useful to look at it. They don't have to necessarily believe in the practice, but if you could go ahead and share this video, that would be greatly appreciated. Hoping to make our way to 100 subscribers very soon. So please subscribe and share this video. And if you need further insights, don't hesitate to book a personalized reading with me, where we can look at your specific astrology and the things that are coming up in your situation. As the situation is changing, we can find support and a practice that really helps you feel nourished and whole and empowered as you move through those days. So as far as this reading, we're coming out of the month of May, where we were seeing things really taking shape and changing their form, and all of these energies really coming up and manifesting themselves in some pretty literal and direct ways. And in the month of June, I'm already sensing that that energy is going to be more focused on how can we keep it moving forward. Not just how did it come to be, but how can we sustain it. So in this reading, we'll do the usual, just go ahead and shuffle the cards, and I'm going to provide this space as a place of meditation for you to take a moment to breathe deep breaths and come into this space, and just to reflect on this question as I shuffle the cards. So the question is, how can I sustain the energies that I developed last month? So how can I sustain energies? How can I sustain what I've already put work into and what's already been manifesting? How can we keep those things moving forward? That's the question right now. So I'm going to go ahead and shuffle the cards. Feel free to stay here, breathe and meditate, and then jump forward to your section of the reading and look at any signs that resonate with you. Okay, so the cards are shuffled, and if you'd like to right now, just go ahead and jump to the signs that you want to look at, whether it's one, whether it's all 12, and you want to take insights from each one of them. You can go ahead and jump forward now, and I will post links to, like time links, to just be able to click directly into the signs that you want to look at below. So you can go ahead and do that now, and we'll get started. Hi Aries, you're probably ready to go, so let's just jump right in. So the first card we're going to pull is going to talk about the first week of this month. So what's coming up immediately is the Sun. So this card usually comes up when we are receiving very new information, or something that part of the information becomes extremely clear to us. There's some sort of opening up of information, a reception of new insights. You may feel in this month at the very beginning that you're seeing all kinds of new things that you may have already had around you, but there's something new about them. There's a new perspective to how they're showing up. There's just a newness. With the sun, there's definitely newness. So that's what I'm seeing coming up for this first week for you. And then the second week, we have the Nine of Swords, and I'm going to immediately interpret that as some tendency toward fear, which is very unlike you, Aries. In your archetype, that's very much unlike you. You're not one to hesitate before jumping into something too much. So, and this is a very deep set fear with the Nine of Swords. So I'm thinking that maybe there's some question of how do you integrate some of these new energies into what you feel like you already know, how you plan to move forward. Definitely something coming up in the first week with all of these insights, and then it turns into a question of how do I interpret this information? You're getting new information, but how do I actually apply it? Is it something that I want to receive? There may be a desire to sort of reject it, or think this isn't useful to me, or this isn't applicable to me, these types of things. So looking at some of those questions. And the last card here we're going to pull is about guidance, so to pull it all together. And I think here, with the Five of Wands, really the question is priorities and what information you want to take as meaningful. So you may have things come up with the Sun in this first week of June that don't feel super relevant, and I'm going to challenge you to look at that, to be in your practice of reflection and honesty, because there's going to be some things coming up right now that you actually do really need to look at, things that you do need to face that you don't want to. But with the ability to discern, to find some sort of just discernment, ability to know the difference between the types of information that are coming up and how they relate to you. Reflecting on that question is really how you're going to be able to sustain your energies through this month, and be able to continue manifesting the things that you're looking for. You're here because I'm guessing you want to deepen your spiritual relationship or find more abundance in your day-to-day life, and this is how we're going to do it, is by understanding how to prioritize things. And this is the Five of Wands again, so if you need to Google that, or you want to comment below and say, hey, I have this particular situation, or a private message and just ask how it relates, you are totally welcome to do that, and I encourage it. So again, we have the Sun coming up the first week, which is going to be new insights or new perspectives on things that may already exist. The Nine of Swords is going to be some resistance and fear, and this is going to be trauma, things from deep within us, and we're going to be able to move through that by knowing how to prioritize and to discriminate between what's really meaningful to us and what we want to continue working with, and maybe not the things that we might not want to work with. So yeah, thank you so much for taking time to be with me. As usual, I really appreciate you being here and taking time to be with yourself as well. Please do comment below with any thoughts, and as I mentioned before, share this video with others who can find it meaningful. Help us grow this page and this community. We're trying to serve a lot of people right now, and yeah, if you need anything else, just comment below, contact me, we can set up a reading and look at anything that you need. So thank you so much, and with love and light, Amani. Alright, Taurus, let's see what's coming up for you in this month. So we're looking at the first week, and that's going to be the first card. This is a good place to start, Taurus. So we're starting here with the Seven of Pentacles. And that's really a question of, do I want to reap right now? Do I want to harvest what I've been working at? Or is it okay, in your practice, in your goals, is right now an appropriate time for you to take from that, or you want to wait a little bit longer? So there's definitely something coming up at the beginning of this month where the energies you've been looking for are ready, and you can go ahead and just take them if you want them. But the question this first week is asking, what do I gain and what do I lose by waiting? So that's sort of the question here, is when do I want to see the fruits of my labor, and when do I want to leave them untouched and continue to let them grow? With the second card here, we're looking at the second week. I'm going to see that you're inclined with that question to go ahead and wait. Is that, I don't know if it's focusing. Yeah, so this is the Four of Swords. And with this card, I'm seeing that you are going to feel more inclined towards waiting. And I think that the energies right now that are coming up support waiting. So if you find yourself in a place of feeling like, this is a really peaceful card, so it's probably not going to be stressful, but if you do find yourself in a place of being like, I feel like I'm not moving forward, I feel like things are going very slowly, Taurus, you generally have a very patient and in your own process sort of pace anyway, and I would strongly suggest that you stay in that right now. It feels really important to be able to take your time and look at what you're doing step by step. And if it doesn't look like anything's happening, things are still happening. But again, with this first card, it may not be the time to go ahead and jump forward into acting on what you see. And I'm going to obviously leave that up to your discretion. You can do whatever you want with that. But I'm seeing that the energies right now are supporting a slower process, slowing down and being able to take more time to look at how all these pieces fit together. And I think that generally fits within your process, Taurus, so that may not be too tough for you. And then the last card is going to be a card of guidance. And so this is the Four of Pentacles. Here I'm getting, again, that reserved feeling, that taking your time, that holding back a little bit more. And usually this comes up as sort of like a critical card, as far as that being too selfish or holding too much in, but I'm not seeing that here. I'm seeing this as a moment to be very much in your process, to have a self-centered perspective. I'm not seeing too many challenges come up for that right now, so in this first 2 weeks you may not feel too challenged on that, but either way, go ahead and feel free to exercise some self-centeredness and to really just be where you are, just be with yourself. Don't feel that you have to do anything for anyone else to make things work out, because right now that's really not the question. That's not what's coming up in the first week. It's not coming up in the second week, so definitely do not rush yourself into anything. Take your time with that practice. And as usual, I want to say thank you so much for being with me and taking time to be with yourself as well. And if you found something useful or interesting in this, please comment below. Tell me about it. Tell me what came up for you. Tell me if you have any questions about cards or further commentary. And please do share this video with anyone that you think would be remotely interested and be served by the questions and insights that are coming up here. We're trying to build this community and make sure this is a resource that's accessible to a wider range of people who need that sort of spiritual and personal nourishment. So please don't hesitate to share with others. And if you need any particular insights, don't hesitate to reach out directly. We can set up a consultation and see what kind of reading you might need further. So yeah, thank you so much, and with love and light, Amani. Alright, Gemini, let's see what's coming up for you in the month of June. So we'll go ahead and just pull a card for the first week. That's going to be the Ace of Pentacles. So what I'm seeing here first is some new resource that's becoming available to you. So if you're asking questions about how to continue your energies moving forward, there's some investment coming your way. So this doesn't necessarily mean money. You might be thinking about relationships and like, what what does that have to do with this, or your own like creative process or your spirituality. And you're like, what does this have to do with it? So there's some sort of investment, whether it be from another person or finding a new place within yourself, or just within the energies that are available right now in this first week of June. There's some sort of investment of energy. There's a new reserve of resources that are available to you right now. So you may be becoming aware of that. If not, then keep an eye out for it. It might take a little bit of looking, not because it's hard to find, but because it might be so close to you already that you're not aware. So just look around. There's a form of investment in you and in your practice and in the things that you want to manifest that's becoming available right now. So in the second week, we have the Death card. No need to fear. Everyone always gets afraid of this one. This one is one of the most transformative and, I think, beautiful energies in the deck. So this one becomes a lot deeper. What this is telling me is that if in the first week you take the time to really see what investment is coming your way, you're going to find that it adds a lot of depth to what you're trying to manifest. You may find that you care more about it, you become more engaged, you find that it just feels like more is going on with it. There's some sort of like deepening of the energies around what you're looking for right now. So go ahead and allow. This one is really a card of surrender, not in a way that you're losing. It's exactly in the way that you're gaining. You're gaining a lot of energies right now. There's a ton of investment coming your way. So once you're able to identify some of it, I think you're just going to keep seeing how much deeper it goes. And I encourage you right now, Gemini, to let that just flow, to really let go and just be in it. You're going to find things that you could never expect to find. Now, this is what when people see the Death card and they get worried, it's actually, the Tower is a lot more of a serious energy. So this is telling me right now, this is a critical point for you. This is a card of guidance, by the way. I forgot to mention that. But this card is saying, it always comes up when we have a critical path. Not that there's ever just two choices, but it kind of paints it in that way right now. So I'm seeing that the things that you're looking for, the things that you've been wanting to engage, the things that you most desire right now, the way you handle them in these next 2 weeks is really setting you up for very different patterns. And the first pattern that's coming up in these two cards, right, we have the Ace of Pentacles and we have the Death card, is that there's a potential for a great transformation. But what I'm seeing as far as other paths is that if you're not engaging that process, more than likely some of the things that you're working with right now, you might just be asked to cut ties with them, just to stop, just to you may find that if you keep trying to do the same things that you've been doing, it may come to a place where you don't have anything to work with anymore, where you just have put all of your energy in and there's very little to show for it. So this is sort of letting you know that this is a critical point right now. Take your time, look at the things that are going on. Don't be cautious though, in the sense of, once you find these investments that are coming your way, go ahead and really allow them to deepen your process. Go ahead and surrender to it. Let that process flow. Just be where you are and what you feel and what you're perceiving and what you're learning about. Whatever that is, just go ahead and really be in it. And I think that with the question of how to sustain those energies right now, yours is a little bit different from some of the others that are coming up, but it's not about sustaining things in the same form, the same way, the same shape that they are right now. It's actually about transforming it. So you're going to sustain those energies by allowing them to transform. That's the thing. And with the Tower, what it's saying is there's a need for them to transform right now, or they might just be diminished almost entirely. So go ahead and allow your process to be deeper, to feel more deeply, to trust more, that kind of thing. And I think you'll find yourself very fulfilled right now. That's what's showing up here. And as usual, I just want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with me and taking the time to be with yourself. And if you have any questions or comments or just any thoughts, a funny meme, anything that you want to share, go ahead and post it below in the comments. And please do share. Gemini, I know that you love information. I know that you love staying connected. And as we're trying to build this community right now, it would really mean a lot to me if I could have your help in trying to connect these insights and these resources to others. So please share. I'm sure you have a community that you can connect with who could be supported by this. So thank you so much. And if you need anything further from me, don't hesitate to reach out and we can set something up, like a consultation or just a more full and personalized reading, whatever you need. All right, so yeah, with that, thank you so much, and with love and light, Amani. Alright, Cancer, let's go ahead and look at what's coming up for you in this month of June in the first 2 weeks. So the first card we're going to pull is just going to be talking about the first week. What we have here is the Two of Wands, and what I'm seeing here is some conflict. I'm seeing immediately some conflict, but it doesn't have to be conflict. The thing about this is the Two of Wands always talks about not being afraid of conflict, because when you actually look at it, can be a very collaborative and cooperative sort of thing. So in any places that you're feeling conflict, especially with others, and especially I'm sensing with family or people who hold a sort of familial relationship, don't be afraid of conflict right now. And there's a lot that you can learn about what conflict means. What does conflict do? Is it actually really supportive that you be able to have a space where you can more directly address concerns right now? This implies that there is really a need for that. So go ahead and allow yourself in the first week of June to reflect on that question of what conflict is doing right now. And it may feel really uncomfortable, but and it may also be a very internal thing. It might not have anything to do with a family member or someone like that on the outside. It may be you struggling with some of the things that your family members or family-like folks have introduced into your process, especially with trauma. Cancer, for you, trauma is deeply important. It's important to ask those questions. So this week opens up a place for you to ask the role of conflict and how you manage that. In the second week, we have the High Priestess. What that implies to me is that you're going to rock this, is that you're going to find it very easy to work through some of these questions right now, in that the energies are supporting you to make it a little bit easier for you to ask some of these things that might be uncomfortable or painful in your process, and you're going to thrive from that. The High Priestess is one of the most intuitive cards, so you may find yourself opening up reserves of energy that you haven't touched on in a long time, finding in your spirituality a fullness or a clarity. Both of those words are associated with the High Priestess. Just finding some sort of spiritual depth and intuitive clarity. So especially you might have things coming up in your dream process if you are working with these energies in the ways that they're coming up. So that's what's coming up in the first 2 weeks. And just as a card of guidance, the Sun. So this energy keeps coming up, not necessarily in this card, but there's a lot of new energy being born right now in the first half of June. And for you, at first, that might present some conflict. As far as one thing I just noticed here is sort of this repetition of a sun-like energy. So really what that's saying is that this is a form of the sun. This is a form of insight. It's not necessarily all about the challenge. It's about what insights are available to you right now. So go ahead, and that's a huge question, asking what the role of conflict is in itself, whether it be with others or with yourself. So go ahead and start there. Practice that this first 2 weeks. And yeah, as usual, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to be with me and to be with yourself in your process that's becoming hugely, like, in these cards for you, Cancer, this is especially important right now, just to be very aware of how you're talking to yourself, what sort of narratives you are reproducing through trauma or through other experiences. And so yeah, as we look at these, go ahead and just start with that practice, looking at what kind of insights are available by asking the question of conflict. Tell me what you find below in the comments. Go ahead and share with me whatever you're finding. You can message me more directly. You can email me. I would also really appreciate if you could share this video with anyone else that you feel could benefit from some of these insights, or that would just find it fun or interesting. We're really trying to build this community right now and be able to provide a lot of resources of personal and spiritual wellness to others. So if you could help us do that, that would be really great and appreciated. And yeah, if you need anything from us, don't hesitate to reach out. We love engaging more deeply and finding what insights we can. We'll find a practice that works for you, so don't hesitate to reach out and to tell us how we can serve you. We'll figure that out together. All right, so with love and light, Amani. Hey Leo, let's see what's coming up for you in this month of June in the first 2 weeks. So let's just jump right in. So with the first card, we're going to talk about what's coming up in the first week of June. And right now what I'm seeing is the Chariot. I don't remember if this card came up for you in the last month, but the energy of it I definitely remember coming up. As far as the Chariot represents being able to really dash forward and having all of the paths open to us and not having so much resistance in the way between us and the thing that we desire. So I'm definitely sensing that some sort of energy like that came up in the last month for you. But in this first week of June, it's coming up again. And what it's saying is, go ahead and act on that thing that you've been desiring. Go ahead and excuse me, go ahead and jump forward into something. I'm really sensing a lot of hesitation right now, but we can go ahead and figure out where that's coming from. So in this second week of June, this one almost feels like a repetition of the first one. So I expect that if you work in this first week of June with these energies, the second card will change. But right now what it is the Five of Cups inverse. What that's telling me is that there's definitely a question of holding on to some sort of trauma, disappointment, some sort of feeling of failure, of a lack or missing an expectation. There's some sort of feeling like that that's related to this hesitation to more deeply engage with what you want and to take it. So I'm wondering what kinds of things are coming up for you there. Please comment below with any thoughts, or if you have any further questions, please share them below. I'd love to hear from you. But I'm definitely seeing some sort of holding back on the basis of the past. So right now in your practice, if you're asking about how to sustain energies, I would say that right now, one thing that's coming up for you in this month is the past holding on to things, like how those things are weighing you down. I would definitely ask questions about that right now. And as far as guidance, Five of Pentacles again, what I'm immediately sensing is there's a high potential this month in the first half for you to feel like you're missing out, like others are really getting along great and others have all these things, or someone has something that you want. There's definitely a strong sense of separation, a high potential for feeling abandoned or lonely, wounded, these types of feelings. And while we can acknowledge that your experiences are valid and everything that you observe and feel is real and meaningful, we can also ask, how can we reshape the ways that we're talking to ourselves to manifest something different? And right now, some of that self-talk around things that have happened in the past, and these feelings of not belonging, not being good enough, that may be working more deeply in your process. You may not even be aware of these narratives, but looking to see where they're at play. That's how we're going to be able to access the energies available in the first half of this month, and be able to just run forward and take what we want. That's what's coming up for you, Leo. And yeah, there's really nothing in your way other than yourself and some of the ways that you might be talking to yourself or holding on to past trauma. So being able to look at that is really supportive for you right now in your goals. So I hope that that serves you. And as always, I just want to say thank you so much for taking time to sit with me and to sit with yourself and reflect a little bit on this process and the things that are coming up. If you have any thoughts, please comment below. Let us know what came up for you, what further thoughts you have, if you have any needs, if you're frustrated by anything or you're like, I disagree, or I don't know, whatever is coming up. Please feel free to share that. We welcome all parts of your truth, and we would love if you could subscribe and share with others who could also subscribe or who would just be served by some of these insights. So maybe someone who's already interested in astrology or some sort of space, any individuals or groups that you think might appreciate that, please go ahead and connect us to them. We're trying to build this community and be able to serve more people with these resources. So please help us accomplish that goal. It would be greatly appreciated. And if you need anything from any of us here at Intuit Hue, we would love to figure out something, set up a consultation to figure out what can serve you most, whether it's energy healing, a deeper reading, especially to help you resolve some of these self-talk patterns or places of hurt and trauma that are coming up in this little bit of a reading here. So don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you. We're here to support you. We're here to help you feel inspired and empowered. So let us know how we can do that. We can figure that out together. And yeah, as always, with love and light, Amani. Alright Virgo, let's see what's coming up for you in this month of June. So again, we're looking at the first half of the month, and we'll just go ahead and jump right in. So the first card that's coming up is the Nine of Pentacles, and this is a very Virgo card. I hope that you can sort of see that if it comes into focus. This card is related to the word contentment, and that contentment is very much in our day-to-day, in our workspace, in our home space, and asking questions of how those two things interact. Both are generally very important to Virgos, and they're of very Virgo energies. So right now I'm seeing some sort of question of fulfillment coming up in the first week for you, and I think this feels very evenly split. I think for some of you who are identifying with Virgo, that's going to mean an increase in feelings of satisfaction and fulfillment, and it really is contentment and fulfillment. Or for some of you, that's going to be noticing places where you're not fulfilled, noticing places where you're not content. And for you, Virgo, I know that energy tends to grow. So that's where we're starting in the first week. In the second week, we have the Three of Cups. This here immediately felt like co-workers or the people who are most close to you. I'm sensing that this can be a card of celebration and togetherness. I'm sensing that there are people around right now, and again, this can be things that you've internalized from other people, but there's an influence and energy from someone else, from someone else's, that is really limiting your ability to engage with a feeling of contentment or to take it further. There's a lot of opportunities around finding fulfillment in your home, work, day-to-day space right now, and to really be in a lifestyle that feels comfortable and supportive for you, where you're doing the things that you want. It just feels like there's something about the energies of other people right now that really needs to be reflected on. I think you're likely to find right now that some of the people you have around you, even if they're not aware of it, they may not have the best intentions for you in mind. Even if they say that they care about you, they may not be acting in a way where they're supporting the types of things that you really need right now. So definitely a question of that at the first 2 weeks. And as a card of guidance, we have the Knight of Cups. I'm going to take this as being willing to act. So this is a card of guidance for you, how to move forward and to work towards sustaining your energy right now, Virgo. I think it takes knowing when to act on what you feel. And you might just have the feeling of like, hey, this person I don't feel like they're with me. And it's giving yourself permission to act on that and to really just jump forward with what feels right for you first before anything else, not having to ask a long process of questions or to try to logic it out. Well, this person is this and that. What do you feel? What do you see around you? What do you observe in how others influence you? Working from what you feel directly is going to help you find that contentment that we're looking for right now, and that fulfillment in the day-to-day, especially through our work. So if you are looking at how to sustain your energies, I think right now that looks like knowing how others are engaging you. Yeah, and if any of that's not clear, please comment below. We'd love to hear from you and engage that further and know how to serve you more directly. Please also subscribe. We're trying to upload a lot of videos right now and build this community, so if you can also share with anyone that you think might be served by this, anyone who's expressed interest in astrology or spirituality or could just use more support in reflection and reflecting on the things that they're working at, please share this with those individuals or spaces right now. That would be really deeply appreciated. Make sure to subscribe yourself so you can keep getting this content. And if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out directly. We can set up a consultation and figure out how to get the resources you need to feel most served right now. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and taking time to be with me and to be with yourself. And yeah, with love and light, Amani. Hi Libra, let's see what's coming up for you in the first half of June. So we'll just jump right in and pull the first card, which is going to talk about the first week of the month. And what's coming up here is the Hanged Man. So this is quite an intense card. And this card is going to talk about really getting a complete shift in your perspective. So in some ways right now, in this first week, you may feel like there's just a complete inversion of the ways that you're used to looking at things, of the there's just a complete shift. You're probably going to be experiencing some 180s right now, either internally or in the things that you see around you. But it's all about perspective right now. This card is deeply associated with Neptune, and so a lot of the energies that come up for the Hanged Man have to do with spirituality, dreams, perception of like literally time and space, but how emotions and our soul can add to or take away from the things that we're seeing. So this is a really heavy question. I would actually encourage you in this first week to go and look at the deeper meaning of Neptune. There's a lot of really strong books written on it. Or just to look at the Hanged Man and the history of it. In tarot, all the cards have a tradition, so you may be able to just go and look at how are these energies coming up for you, and to have a deeper understanding of what they represent in general, that kind of thing. So that's what I would suggest right now. And in the second week, we have Judgment, which is not any lighter of a card. The Judgment card is really about making peace with things that haven't been answered. It's about finding accountability, getting the answers that we're looking for, or just getting closure, making some sort of resolve. So I feel like these cards are coming up to say you're going to find some, or you have the opportunity to find some really deep insights and closure on things that you have not been able to understand or make peace with because of a lack of perspective that's been needed. Maybe you just haven't been able to find out things that you've needed to know, that sort of thing. But this is really on a much larger scale. So the things that are coming up in this month, in the first half of the month, really have to do with a really deep transformation of your energies as far as how you look at things and how you make peace with things. And I'm going to leave it that open because these cards really are huge. These are not day-to-day cards. These are part of the major arcana, and there's only 22 of them in the deck, and they really speak to much larger events. So treat everything that you're experiencing right now with the seriousness that it's really asking of you. I know, Libra, sometimes you want to balance it out and pull back emotionally or pull back from the closeness of what you're feeling to treat it as less serious than it is, to balance out how serious it really seems to be. I would really discourage that right now and really encourage you to let yourself be in whatever it is. I'm going to stop there just because I could go on for days about those two cards. And then as far as the form of guidance, the Knight of Wands, what I'm seeing here is about journeying into new territory and doing it boldly. So really own and claim the types of things that you're doing right now, Libra. Whatever it is that you are experiencing, push forward in a way that you really are accountable for that, and you're really asking a lot of questions, and you are pushing your boundaries in the sense of like just really going for it. Right now I'm really thinking that when I see these energies, I think, oh, Libra would really want to pull back. Don't pull back. You can do what you want to, but if you're looking to be supported right now, these energies are saying go for it. And surely there's other ways to work with it and to find out a path that works for you. You really do what makes sense to you and what feels right in your spirit, not necessarily makes sense in your mind, but what makes sense in your spirit. But this is painting a very clear path. Look at Neptune, understand that process, and be able to find in the first and second week some peace and clarity, some closure with things. And the way to do that is to do it boldly and to really charge forward like you do know all of this uncharted territory that you're going into, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's what's coming up here. And if you have any questions, please feel free to write below and ask any points of clarification that you'd like. Also, be sure to subscribe, and also really important is we're trying to build this space. So if you can find even just one person to share this video with and say, hey, there were some insights that came up here, and if you can find someone that would be supported and served by those energies. Excuse me, I have a cough today with these allergies or something. Yeah, if there's anyone that you feel like you can share this video with, please do so. It would really mean a lot to us. And yeah, if you have any specific needs, don't hesitate to reach out. We'd love to look at how we can collect resources that'll serve you even further. So yeah, I hope to hear from you in the comments and in my email, wherever. And yeah, thank you so much for taking time and space to sit with me and to sit with yourself and reflect a little bit. And yeah, with love and light, Amani. Alright, Scorpio, it's your time for a reading, and I can already sense the intensity of what's coming up for you. So let's go ahead and just jump right in. So for the first card, which is looking at the first week, we have the Knight of Swords. This one almost feels like in the first part of June, knowing how to sustain your energies actually looks like knowing what question you want to ask next, where you want to take things, what you want to prioritize, how you want to dig a little bit deeper. That's what I'm seeing here. It's a very calculated precise move. So I would say in this first week, you'll feel inclined towards that, and I would say you'll be really supported by that if you allow yourself the space to just look at how you want to move forward with those energies. And let's see, looking at the second week, we have the World. Yeah, so there's probably just a strong sense right now of how many things are available. It can be very overwhelming. When this card comes up, I almost never know how to interpret it, because bringing it into some sort of specific term is very difficult. Framing it is very difficult. That's exactly the point. With the World card, the frame is everything. So you may really need in this first week to take a lot of time to figure out what exactly you want to work on, what do you want to focus your energies on, that kind of thing. And as a last card for guidance, the Five of Swords. I'm sensing some hurt feelings from others that either right now you're already working with it, or you will soon be working with others feeling upset at some of the choices that you're making. I'm not sensing that for you that's going to be super heavy, but it may grow to be so over time. So I definitely not allowing yourself, if you do feel this way, to feel like the bad guy, and also not feeling like you owe others an explanation about where you are in your process. This is way too much to try to explain to someone. I can't even explain it here. It's a lot to try to explain to someone all of the things that are going on for you right now. So I would say just be in your own process, in the sense of focusing on how you want to work with what you're seeing, and then just staying very very centered on knowing what you need to do to get where you need to go, and not being ashamed of that sort of thing. Does that make sense? If it does, please let me know what came up for you, and if it doesn't, please feel free to, again, let me know what came up for you. Ask questions below in the comments. We would also really appreciate if you subscribed and shared this video with at least one other person that you think might be supported by these insights or this space for reflection. We'd really appreciate that, as we're trying to grow this community and support more people, serve more people. Yeah, and if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. We can set up a consultation and see what further resources might really support you. But either way, thank you so much for taking time to be with me and to be with yourself and reflect a little bit. And with love and light, Amani. Alright, Sagittarius, it's your part of the reading, so let's just jump right in. So for the first card, we have the Six of Wands, and this is coming up for the first week of June. So with the Six of Wands, I'm sensing like a need to really be sensitive to who's around you and who's watching the progress that you're making. So this came up, I think, also for, I remember who it was now, but there's something about the energy right now that's going on where we really need to be mindful of how we want to sustain things, and especially in regards to others. There's some sort of feeling like you're gaining a little bit of others' awareness and others' focus right now. And right now I'm not sensing it as something that's supportive for you. I'm sensing it as a potential threat to the types of things that you're trying to build. So really noticing who's around you, who's watching, and maybe working with your charm, Sagittarius, to just be like, hey, can we be more open about this, and can we work together? Something collaborative could really come out of this card. It doesn't usually, and for other signs I wouldn't even suggest working that way. But right now I do see that potential. But above all else, be very sensitive to who you're telling about the things that you're doing. They may feel inclined right now with some of the energies and insecurities coming up to try to take part of that from you. So just leave that there. The second card is coming for the second week, and we have the Six of Pentacles. And so we just had the Six of Wands and the Six of Pentacles. Now, again, it's about resources. There's someone who This may also be you. It could very much be you looking at how parts of yourself might be taken from other parts of yourself. You can let it be as complex as it feels for you, see what resonates for you. With the Six of Pentacles, though, looks like someone who doesn't want to work, but definitely wants to benefit from it. So, I mean, the most direct thing about this is like, an example would be you write an article or something, and then someone goes and takes and plagiarizes it and takes the credit for it, doesn't attribute it in any way back to you. That's sort of the energy that's coming up right now. So really claiming what's yours and noticing who's got their eyes on it also, and just, yeah, whatever resonates with you there. This could apply to relationships, not necessarily your resources or ideas, but someone's watching, some part of someone is watching, and it's insecure and it wants to take, it wants to claim what isn't for it in order to move forward. So sustaining your energies right now in the first half of this month really looks like defending it from anything that might threaten it, and also inviting others to collaborate with you, because they also are just looking for some of the same comforts that we're all looking for right now. And then as a card of guidance, the Hanged Man is just really about perspective here for you, Sagittarius. So I would say, yeah, maybe shift that perspective from, definitely you're not inclined to take it as some sort of like, I'm against the world or I'm against these people. Like, it's not like that. It's not necessarily competitive. But see if you can even look at it as collaborative. Are these people who want to take from you, or are these parts of yourself that want to take from you and your other parts? How could they actually work together to achieve more than they could independently? That's sort of the question here. So I'll leave you with that, and if you have any further questions or thoughts or commentary, please comment below this video with them. We'd love to engage you more directly, and to help us engage more people and be able to provide this space for reflection and quiet and these insights. Please share this video with at least one person that you can think of. Definitely more. If you can think of more people, we'd really appreciate it, as we're trying to build this space to serve more people. And lastly, if you have any questions that go beyond these cards, don't hesitate to reach out. We can set up a reading, do a consultation free, just to see what might serve you best. It might be a reading, it might be energy healing. We can figure that out together. But either way, thank you so much for taking space to sit with yourself and to sit with me as we reflect. And yeah, I'll talk to you soon, and with love and light, Amani. Alright, Capricorn, let's see what's coming up for you this month. So we'll just jump right in. The first card is the Five of Pentacles inverse. And what I'm sensing here is that in this first week, regarding how you're sustaining your energies, there's almost like a leak of energy. Like there's something that's hurting right now, and this could be with you, it could be with others. It feels like it's with you. Something that's hurting, though, that's giving up energies that you may not be aware of. And definitely if there's any sense of feeling defeated, of feeling like, what's the point anyway, or someone else has it better than me, or they're just better than I am and I'm a fake, or, you know, these types of like self-excluding phrases and the feelings. If there's any sort of that, really be sensitive to it, because right now part of sustaining your energy is noticing things like that that might be taking from it, and you can become really aware of those in this first week of June. In the second week of June, we have the Chariot. Excuse me. So this card is saying, as far as I am interpreting it, that if you're able to work through some of those questions and those feelings of the Five of Pentacles in the first week, you will find that there's pretty much not any other resistance for you this month. And I'm going to say that that goes beyond the first 2 weeks. There's not a whole lot of resistance for you right now. And I think just because of your determination, like you have the skills, you have all the things that you need to be able to resolve the situations around you and to achieve what you want to achieve right now, Capricorn. So I think the first one right now is looking at yourself as ways that you might be giving up your own energies, that kind of thing. And as far as a form of guidance, the Queen of Cups is pretty simple. Just trust yourself. This is the image of someone who walks without needing to look. This is a very Piscean card, or an ascended Cancerian card. But this is someone who doesn't need to look because they trust that every time they place their foot down, they'll be supported. And I think you might want to take some time, Capricorn, and remind yourself of how far you've come through your own efforts, all the things that you've been able to accomplish by yourself, with others also. Remember that others are included in the things that you've achieved, but don't diminish the part, this is the point, don't diminish the part of how you were also involved in your success, how you were involved in your fulfillment, and how you continue to be that type of thing. So definitely trusting yourself to resolve some of those feelings right now, any place that they might come up. Otherwise, I'm really not seeing too many challenges for you this month, and I would say for the whole month. But we'll come back and look at that in about 2 weeks. So don't worry, we'll have insights then. If you have any questions or commentary right now, please go ahead and comment below. Tell me what came up for you. I'd love to hear about it. And if you want to look at anything more personally, we can definitely set something up to look at that. And also, please help us share this page. If you know just one person that you could share this video with, or somewhere you could post it, that would be really appreciated as we're trying to build this space and connect with more people so we can all feel more whole and inspired and empowered. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and taking time to be with me and to be with yourself. And with love and light, I'm Ani. Alright, Aquarius, let's see what we've got for you in the first half of June. So the first card, we'll just jump right in here, is the Nine of Swords. So in this first week of June, I'm seeing a lot of self-doubt. And let's just go ahead and not work with that, yeah? Let's go ahead and find a way to work through that. So this month, part of your question for how to continue sustaining your energy is really looking at the ways that you're talking to yourself and visualizing. This is especially a card of visualizing, anticipating challenges. And with this card, it really, the emphasis is very much on looking at how, when this card comes up, it's almost always that someone is participating in making the challenge greater than it actually is for them. And it's not necessarily because we want to feel that way, but because we have things that are hurting inside us that tell us things like that. But I'm assuring you that right now you have the resources to be able to work through whatever you're looking at, and then it's going to be easier than you expect. It'll be easier in a lot of ways right now with the energies that are coming up at the beginning of the month. So really reclaiming that sense of knowing what you're getting ready to get yourself into. It's probably something that you already are skilled in, but maybe you've just been away for a while, or maybe you feel like you just don't feel connected to your personal power and engagement and fulfillment in that. So in this first week, we really want to, if you're looking to feel more like you're sustaining the energies that have been coming up and continue working on them, part of that is to not let yourself be overrun with anxieties or anticipating how difficult something will be. So really just taking time to actually really look at each independent challenge and evaluate how you can accomplish it very directly with your skills, and I know that you can. So the second card is for the second week. It almost doesn't feel temporal, it's almost the same lesson. At the beginning of the month, again, looking at prioritizing, figuring out how we want to approach the things that are in front of us. So here we have an image of essentially all these different options for things that we can choose to engage, and part of this card's lesson is really being able to identify what we want to work with at one time, not being overwhelmed. This is not the Five of Wands, this is not the Ten of Wands where we feel burdened with too many options or distracted. You can focus on very tangible or very literal things that you want to work on and just accomplish them. So reminding yourself of that this month feels really, really supportive. And as a card of guidance, yeah, the Magician. Go ahead and Google this card and see what comes up. Maybe type it into YouTube, see if I'm sure someone's made a video on this particular card. The Magician is the alchemist of the deck. They take anything that they find and make something out of it. And you, Aquarius, when you're in your evolved or ascended or deeper space, really can do the same thing and can transmute any energy from one shape into another. It's really inspiring. So really reconnecting with the spirit of the Magician right now can help you deal with some of the anxieties that you may be experiencing around your goals. And that will help you sustain your energy throughout the beginning of the month. So let's go ahead and start the month off on that foot and try to figure out how to walk in the path of knowing ourselves, our purpose, and our skills. We're very much competent and ready for these challenges. If you have any questions or comments, please comment them below. Let us know what came up for you. And if you need anything more specific, don't hesitate to reach out and let us know how we might be able to serve you, or just to ask for a consultation that would be free, to see what types of resources we have that we can offer to help you feel more whole and inspired and empowered right now. Also, please share this. Please share this video with anyone that you can think of who might be interested. Please subscribe. We're trying to build the channel and let others know about what we're doing and help them find these insights. There's someone who could really use this space for reflection right now. So if you could help us connect to that person, that'd be greatly appreciated. And thank you yourself for taking the time to be with me and to be with yourself in reflection. And yeah, thank you so much. And with love and light, Amani. Alright, Pisces, we're here at your part of the reading, so let's just jump right in. So the first card we have is the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is telling me that in the first part of this month, in the first week, one way that you can be thinking on how to sustain your energies is to look at the space that you're surrounding yourself with. Right now, we're very sensitive individuals, Pisceans. We take in a lot of what's around us without intending to, and then a lot of the time we do intend to, and we take it even more deeply, more personally. We allow things to be meaningful for us, and that's part of how we heal and feel connected and grounded to things. So right now, at the beginning of this month, one way to sustain your energies is to look at what you're really including in your day-to-day experience. What is it like right now, for example? Where are you coming from? Have you come from a noisy place or a place where there's a lot of substance use that is affecting your consciousness? Is there like a lack of sleep going on because of other environmental factors? This question is really about your environment and how you're choosing to engage it. And one way to one way to sustain your energies right now, Pisces, is to align yourself with a space that also is aligned with those energies that you're seeking. So just thinking about your environment and how to work with it more actively and more consciously. And in the second card, which is for the second week here, but also just feels like a secondary lesson we're looking at right now, is the Nine of Wands. This card has never come up for me this way before, but I'm going to take this as you being a guard over your own energies right now. And you may be finding that this is tough because we do often rely on having our surroundings do that work for us. But right now, you have an opportunity at the beginning of this month to learn the skill and to practice guarding your own energy and being the negotiator of what comes in and what goes out. So definitely taking time to look at that. We can, if you're curious more about how you might begin to practice that, message below or comment below, message me directly, email. We can talk about that and have a free consultation to see what resources can help you achieve that. But in the last card, which is a card of guidance, the Nine of Pentacles is really kind of like the Queen of Wands. It again talks about our environment, and this one feels very plain. It's just being able to be in a setting in our day-to-day that really feels simply fulfilling. It's not that complex. We just feel good where we are. We feel supported. We feel inspired and whole, that kind of thing. So that's what we're working at the beginning of this month. That's where we're going, Pisces. You can chart out a different path, but that's the energies that are most supportive and available to you right now. So yeah, I want to say thank you so much for taking time to sit with me today and to sit with yourself, Pisces. Really make sure to sit with yourself a lot right now and know what you can and can't do as far as what energies you do and don't have to offer. You have a lot to offer and you can do a lot with it right now. Just make sure that your surroundings don't necessarily take away from that and lead away from your goals right now. But yeah, if you have any thoughts, please comment them below. Questions, anything you just want to share. And also please subscribe and please share this video with someone else. We want to hopefully be able to touch more people in their experiences and offer these insights to a wider range of people so that more people can experience healing. And I'm hoping that this video will be able to connect. I'm sure there's someone else out there who really needs to feel supported and to have a space to reflect and a quieter space. So if you could help us connect with that person, that would really mean a lot to me. And yeah, if you personally need more support, please reach out. We'd love to talk to you and figure out how we can arrange resources to help you feel like the most you that you can be and to connect with your higher and deeper truths. So yeah, thank you so much, and until next time, with love and light, Amani.